Yahoo! It is a boy to be. Okay, so I've got something exciting to share here. I'm sorry about the glare. I've got something exciting to share with you. Okay, so I applied for this. I don't know if you can see it, and it is Ancestry DNA. And I wanted to do this for quite a long time, but when I was away in America, the tour guide says that he done it and it was the best thing that he'd done. He met new cousins from around the world. He met relatives that he didn't even know that he had, and it was just, and he says it was so interesting to find out. And he says that I literally did this DNA test thinking, oh, I'm like 50% American, I'm 50% Mexican, but he found out that he had different, I've forgotten different nationalities that he was, but he had different nationalities, and yes, so I was intrigued by that even more. But one of the things that I want to do this, right, and I've never really shared this with anyone before, but when I was born, I still have it. When I was born with a birthmark on the back of my back, and it's not as big as what it used to be when I was little, but you can only see it when I'm cold or if I'm not feeling very well, but it kind of just looked like a bruise on my back. And my mum discovered it when she took me out of the bath and she was drying me, and my back looked as if it was covered in bruises. So the first thing she done was took me to the hospital, and she says my baby's got loads of bruises on her back and I don't understand how. So the first thing they thought was I was getting abused, which is understandable because it did look as if my back was covered in bruises. But when they did a lot of tests and stuff, it came back and the doctor said that, well, it isn't bruised, your daughter isn't getting abused or anything, but we did need to do the tests, and she was like, yeah, that's understandable. But your daughter has a rare condition, and it's called the black spot. And the see is that we've never really seen it in a white child before. And I don't know, maybe there is loads more people now that have it, which I don't know about, but at the time, no one had heard about it in a white child. And the see is that it's mostly found in Asians. So, maybe this, I know it sounds stupid, but maybe this is like why I've always been interested in Asian culture, music and stuff, and Asian food. And maybe that's why I get a lot of comments saying that I do have the kind of like Asian facial features. Like a lot of people that are Asian have told me, you're not Asian? And I'm like, no, I'm British. I'm like half British, I'm half Irish. Maybe he's got a little Italian, that's what my grandma says. But they are shocked and they say that you're really pale, and I do have kind of like Asian eyes, especially when I smile, like the disappear, right? So I'm intrigued, and maybe who knows that I have ancestors that are from Asia or something. I could be related to a Chinese king or something, you never know. But it is very fascinating, and my mum asked, she says, because there's like advertisement, I'll put it down below, of like this ancestry, and they take a load of people from different cultures and they ask them, if you had ancestors from different countries, what country would you be? What country would you not want them to be from? And they give different answers. But my mum asked me that, she says, what country, if like you find out that you had ancestors in a country, what country would you not want them to be from? And honestly, and I mean this, honestly, I don't really mind where my ancestors are from, because they're my ancestors, they're my relatives, and we're related, and it doesn't matter what country they're from. And I know my mum didn't say that to be disrespectful or anything like that. It's just because we were watching the advertisement. Well, we didn't watch it at the time when she asked us, but she knows about the advertisement and that's what we ask, so she asked it. But honestly, I don't mind. I honestly don't mind. It will be fascinating, maybe to find out that I do have ancestors or relatives that are Asian. Maybe that'll explain about the black spot. But I don't know. I'm very fascinated and I'm very emotional. But I'm going to just go through the kit, okay? So this is what it came in, just a little box. And what you get is you get instructions like that. You've got to activate your tube, well, your DNA tube online, and that's the tube. I'm not going to show you like spit or anything because that's a bit too much, you know. But you get a code on the tube, and you spit into the tube to the wavy line, and you take off the funnel, and then you put on this fluid, and then the fluid goes into the tube, and that like activates like your DNA. So after that, you basically put this tube into a little box like this, and then you send it off, which I'll do. I'll go to the post office. I want to do it as fast as possible, to be honest with you, so I'll probably do this and then send it off tomorrow. I need to go to the bank anyways. So so yes, and then you put the DNA into this packet, then into the tube. But it says not to eat anything or drink anything within half an hour. That's why I haven't done it yet, because I have recently had a drink of water. So crime. So yes, so hopefully the next update will be in 6 to 8 weeks, because that's how long it takes, and I will find out if I do have Asian ancestors. But if I don't, that's alright. I might find out that I've got ancestors in Europe, and I could even get in touch with them. Who knows? And maybe it'll come back and I'm just British and Irish, or maybe what my grandma says, that she is part Italian. Maybe she is telling the truth, and maybe I am part Italian. So I'm very intrigued. I'm very emotional to know that there is probably more my relatives out there that I don't even know about. So that is emotional and intriguing. So yes, keep updated. Hi, so I'm back with my results, my DNA results, and it has been 2 months. And it was one of the things that I was most disappointed about, was like the wait. And I have to understand that they would probably be busy, and like it takes time to get results back in the labs and everything. But fair enough. But then if it takes so long, I shouldn't say a specific date. Like I was told 6 to 8 weeks, so you expect it to be 6 to 8 weeks. If it just says the results will be back as soon as possible, you would understand. But if you're told 6 to 8 weeks, you'd think that would come in 6 to 8 weeks, you know what I mean? And the other thing that I was disappointed about is when I got my results, I thought I would get like a letter and a certificate, because that's what you see in like the advertisement. They will like give like kind of like a letter or like a card or something, and you got to take that home. So you expect, since you're paying all this money, like it was like £70 for the DNA and then £20 for like the post and packaging. £90 is a lot of money, and I know that people will be like, oh, £90 for a DNA test. But when you're fascinated in it, you were willing to pay that, which I didn't mind the money. I didn't mind paying the money. It was the fact that you're expecting to get something for your money, if you know what I mean. Like, I expected at least like a letter or a certificate or something like that. Instead, all I got was an email, which was a bit disappointing. So yeah, but that was just like the little part that I was disappointed about. Like the wait and the fact that I didn't get anything, all I got was an email. But I do think that it is kind of like a good idea, and the way the email works is quite like sufficient. So yeah. So anyways, so originally I was gonna like video my reaction, like me reading the results, but then last night I was with my best friend and my mum, and I decided, let's just read them. And yeah, so I read them, and then the way the email works is like you open it up like your page, and you'll open it up, and then it gives you like a list of like nationalities, not like a specific place, like a part, you know how there's like Europe and America, North America, Africa, South Africa, Asia and stuff like that. I'm sorry about the noise in the background. I don't know what my stepdad's doing. I'm sorry about that. But anyways, so then like you get a colour next to like Europe would be green, and then it would circle like the part. And like in that area it will tell you like where it could be. Like in that circle in Europe, because I did get Europe, in that it was like Belgium, France, Germany and stuff. And then when you click on it, like you click on Europe, and then underneath should be like a chart, and it'd be like 0.0, so you can find out like specific area, not like specific, like, oh, you're from this part of Germany, but it would tell you Germany, if you know what I mean, if that makes any sense. So anyways, this is my results. So I got 1% Asia. 1% Asia. That, if you remember my story about the first part, about my black spot, that 1% give me this, right? And then I narrowed it down and it was China. So I'm 1% Chinese. Very fascinating. That probably explains like a lot of things about me. And I know like 1% might seem small, but when you think about DNA and the way it works, 1% is quite big in DNA wise. Not like 1% money wise. I'm going off DNA. That is quite big. Now the first thing I was shocked about, this was the one that like took me back. This was the one that shocked me the most. I'm 32% British. 32%. That is quite little considering I was born and raised in Britain. And like, but I did expect like I wasn't just going to be British. Like I do know that there's Irish on my grandma's side and the Scottish. That's why I got my name Shannon, because of the River Shannon in Ireland. So I expected that, but didn't expect the British count to be so low. I expected it to be at least like 50, and then like 10% Irish, 10% Scottish, and then the rest was like different nationalities. But yeah, 31% Irish, which I've just said, like I understood that. 31% Irish. 20% Europe West, which was like Belgium, France and Germany and the Netherlands and Switzerland and stuff like that. And then when I narrowed it down, it was Germany. So I'm 20% German. Now, as I discussed in like the last video about like the advertisement of the Ancestry.com, whatever it is, Ancestry, I don't know how they like describe the website. I just go on of Ancestry, right? Sorry. So they were like, if you found out that you were related to a different kind of nationality, what nationality would you not like to be like related to? And people are saying they wouldn't want to be German and they wouldn't want to be Belgium. So finding out that you're German, I don't mind. Honestly, I really don't mind. I think it's amazing that I'm 20% because that's quite high, so I'm 20% German. But if I'm going off my grandma, if I told my grandma that I was 20% German, she would hate it. Because, like, I understand that what Hitler done and the German soldiers did years ago. I understand that, and I understand because she was like in the Second World War, like she was a child, so she was like separated from her parents, like in the evacuation and stuff like that. And I do understand why she would judge it. But me, personally, like my opinion is just like you shouldn't really live like back in the past. You should just live in the now, if you know what I mean. So I understand that Germany was like labelled, oh, this bad nation back then, but people change, and like that was years ago. Like the First World War was like over 100 years ago, and like the Second World War was like 8 years ago, and we should never forget like what happened. We should never forget, and that part like scares me that we could forget it, because like what the women and the men went through that like era was like, it was just so emotional. So I'm not saying we should forget about it. What I'm saying is just like we should move on, and like I'm pretty sure people in Germany are probably feeling the same way, that oh, why did this happen in this country and stuff? Why did the leader back then have to do this? But you've just got to think, you can't label them as being evil because of what happened back in the past. You should just move on and accept Germany is Germany, because they're different now. And it's just like, that's like one of my pet peeves. Like, it annoys us that people can be so judgmental and so stereotypical. Like, it's not just like people in Germany. It's more like back when, I've forgotten what the story was, but like there was like, no, it was there was this soldier was decapitated in London, and oh, I forgot his name and I feel dreadful about it, but the man that done it was a Muslim or something like that. Over the lines, I think it was that story, but anyway, something bad happened and it was a Muslim that did it. And people automatically, they were just like, all Muslims must be like that. And you shouldn't. Just because one Muslim did that doesn't mean that all Muslims are bad, if you know what I mean. Just because he's Muslim doesn't mean that all Muslims are bad. And I can't say what a Muslim's religion is because I don't study Muslim. So I don't understand. Just because he's Muslim, people are like, that must be their religion, that must be the way they are taught. But it's not. Just because it's nothing to do with religion. It's just the way his mind way and what he done. But you shouldn't, just because he's Muslim, you shouldn't judge the rest of like people that are Muslim or people that choose to practice Muslim. Is it Muslimism or something like that? Anyways, and like people, it's not just Muslim or German, it's like people are judgmental about Africa, and they'll be like, people are starving in some part of like Africa, and they're like, how is it they're still starving when it's been years, and why are they having so many children? You can't say that. Women in that country are raped. That's why they are going in the schools and they are teaching children to defend themselves, because Africa is just like, it can be so dangerous. And it's just like, why are you saying this? Because you don't know the full story. And the thing that annoys me is that they are saying that because they've heard somebody else say it. But why go off a story when you don't know the truth? You shouldn't just say, oh, why are they starving? You think they would learn. They are starving because they don't have the money. They are having children because they don't have the medication. They are catching diseases because they don't have the medication. They don't have the money because they don't have like a government. And it's just like, why are you judging people? Why are you being judgmental? Why are you being like so stereotypical? I just wish that we lived in a world that there wasn't war, there wasn't people that were just judgmental, and that we would just support people. Like in the Bible, it says like we are brothers and sisters. Then why are we not treating each other like family? Why are we just like so evil and so malicious to other people and saying so horrible things instead of just getting on peacefully? All of that, I went sidetracked to a different kind of topic, different kind of story. I'm supposed to be reading that DNA. Right? So yes, I'm 12% Scandinavian, which is like Swedish, Norway and Denmark. So I narrowed it down, and I couldn't really narrow it down. Like the circle was just like around like Swedish and Norway and Denmark, so I don't know if that was like the area that they couldn't be more specific about. So 12% Scandinavian, 2% Arabian, which is like Spain, and it was like, so I'm like 2% Spanish, okay. 1% Jewish, which I understand because that's of my dad's side, but I did expect that to be more instead of just 1%, but it was like Jewish Ukraine. So yeah, 1% from Finland, 1%. So yeah, that's my results, and I'm happy about it. I think like these kind of like things are so fascinating, and it's just like, I think like everyone should do it, but I understand not everyone has the money. But I'm pretty sure if like the test was cheaper and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure everyone would do it. But like, I think like everyone should have the opportunity to try it. Like, they should be given the chance to do it instead of having like, this is an idea, you can pay for it, if that makes sense. But I think it is a good thing to do, because like, people are just like, well, I was born in Britain, my parents are British, I must be British. But apparently not. Apparently not. That is not the case, because I'm only 32% British. Explain that. But my friend was just like, how do they know? And the thing is, DNA is just like this amazing thing. And when you were born, you were like your DNA is automatically like documented. Even back then, even though like it couldn't be like online or anything, but like it must have been done on paper, and as years gone by, that document on paper must have been put in a computer. So it's just like an amazing thing how it works. But obviously they must know something, because that is right. But I do, now that I'm reading my results, even though it's not like the results I thought it was going to be, it's not like I'm not saying that they're not the results that I wanted, I'm just saying not the results that I thought it would be. Right, anyways. So yeah. I am happy. I'm fascinated though. The thing that what most fascinates me is just like, if I'm 20% Europe, does that mean I've got like, well, it must mean I've got family in Europe. My God. I've got like, I must have family in Germany, and I must have family like in Swedish or Norway or Denmark, and I must have like some sort of family in Spain. I must have family in like Finland and Ukraine and Ireland and China. Well, I'm going to do more research, because I'm pretty sure it's just like mind blowing, isn't it? Now that I'm like sitting here like looking at the results, it's just like, I've got more family out there, and the only thing that I want to do is find that family. I could have like a German cousin, I could have like a Chinese auntie. Oh, it's amazing. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it interesting, and maybe it's inspiring for you to go and do this kind of test, or some sort of test like this. And I know this video is on for a long time, but it is quite a topic to discuss. So yeah, don't be dumb, click that fun, be generous, share with your friends, and I shall see you next week. Bye.